Howdy folks again, Dave Mann here, Rollman Revolution. Now, I got over the Fauci flu, and then I decided to take a week or so off from the politics, just stepped away, simply to see how and what this clown show was going to develop into. And I'm never more surprised. Nothing surprises me really at this point anymore, and it shouldn't you either. Nothing is what it seems. It's so crazy to even think that we have half the world's population, and again, it varies in this number, but half people believe one thing and half people believe another ideology. It's just, how did we get so confused? Because in the end, majority of the people are getting screwed. So why isn't the majority of the people who are getting screwed on the same team? Why is there this constant division between the groups? How is it that you got so smart about all the things that you believe? How is it that you got so in tune on all of the issues that you believe? Did you go to school for these? Did you write dissertations? No, you listened to other people talk about something and then you agreed with it. And most of the time, you don't know if the person who came to those conclusions that you are starting to agree with has done any of the research themselves. See, we live in this world that the only thing that I know is true is people who are actually living in it. You got to go to where that news is. You got to go to where it actually is happening. Because what we've determined and what we've discovered over the course of time, no matter what the media presents to you, it's all designed to control the flow or the direction of America. You know, we want Americans to think and believe about a certain issue a certain way. And this is for you young folks out here, because you're coming out of college now and you're starting to realize that the stuff that they told you isn't true. The jobs that they tried to sell you on don't exist. There's this great undershortage in the world. You know, not everybody who comes out of college, you know, with a degree in women's studies is going to find a job. So they've sold a bill of bullshit to a whole generation, and now the generation is kind of seeing it, but they don't know what to do about it because they formed all these alliances and opinions about things, and to be honest with you, most of them don't even really know how they got there in the first place. And I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. A lot of us who are a lot older, we're right there where you are now, and I just want to try to save you from the aggravation and disappointment that you're going to find out by the bill of goods that they have sold you. Look, the world, in my opinion, isn't as divided as they make it out to be. It's just the approach that the only way to control mass populations of people is to get them to constantly be uneasy. You have to constantly keep shifting the weight one direction or the other so they never know what is up and down, left or right. Okay? It's an art of war in a sense. Okay? It's a battle of the mind. Okay? And the reason why I keep harping on this fact is because if you go out today and just hang out with some of the people in your neighborhood, you're going to start to realize that most of these people, not all, but most, are just level-headed people. They're just doing exactly what you're doing, trying to get through the day, managing the best they can with what they got. And it's just sad that we live in a nation right now where we're arguing over things that really do not matter, and who sets the tempo for what they say matters and what doesn't matter. Who sets the agenda? It's the mainstream. It's the 93% of everything you read, watch, or listen to. That's included within social media now. It's controlled. You think you have this. Why do you think they're going so hard at Elon Musk? You know, I'm not a big Elon Musk fanboy, but at the same point, you gotta give credit where credit's due. Okay, there's a reason why they're trying to attack the living crap out of this man now, because he's allowing what all of the other platforms have decided not to do. They decided to censor you and tell you that they're not censoring you. They're trying to make freedom count, but please don't disobey our rules. You know, but the rules are so open to interpretation and opinion. You know, people get striked all the time on YouTube for something that is considered to be nudity, and it's blotted out, but because you can figure out kind of what's going on, they strike them for that. But yet, these music videos out there that show explicit, no censoring of bodies in which that's okay. That gets 1 billion views. Do you see where the alliances are? You don't think that you're being controlled, but you are. And for the young folks out there, because you haven't been taught anything, critical thinking and deductive reasoning, have you ever heard of those two terms? And if you haven't, I highly suggest you start finding ways to get those skills in your toolbox, because you're being lied to on so many different levels. The history is written by the victors. And again, in every generation, they have been slowly doing the slow drip process. It's a slow drip process where they insert something that is not really true in society and normalize it. And then you come out of school thinking that this is the way the world really is, when in reality it is not. They sold you this bill of goods, which now you either have to buy or not. It's amazing. It's quite amazing, simply because there is so much going on behind the scenes that you'll never see. It's stuff that changes the direction nations go. And like I said at the top of this video, when you start to go around in your neighborhood and just talk to the people that are within your community, you're going to start to realize that most of the people are going through the same nonsense you are. Maybe at different levels, but they're all going through it. And if we're all going through it, why aren't we all trying to find solutions for each other that make sense? Why are we listening to people who have been so out of touch with reality to the way you and I are living our lives? We listen to them. We're hoping that this guy or this girl, this time is going to have my back. You know, it's pretty pathetic when we live in a nation so rich with so many wonderful opportunities that we're begging and scraping and crawling and scratching in the hopes that these people are going to maybe do it this time. Young folks, and for the folks out there that have already been doing this, the only way we ever are going to get yourself out of the hole you're in is to actively get involved in understanding what's really going on. Now again, it doesn't matter what side of the football you're on, whether you politically, you've got to look at the grander scale of things. The pull back the curtain, pull it all back, just expose it all, the full Monty, let it all hang out, okay? Because once you do that, and you start looking at things from, like I said, an Overwatch type of perspective, you start to see the clown show at play. Each side is playing each other's side. Now, there may be players indirectly in this system that have a goal, but most of the time, those people get squashed. That's why there's so much going on. And again, I'm not trying to make this one as political, but you got to look at the cast of characters that are being presented to you, okay? Now, on both sides, I'm not saying anybody's perfect here, but there's one side that it's just, if you want communism, that's what you're gonna get, if that's what you want. But you got to really understand what's going on here. These people just like rose out of the ashes. They were disgusting, awful, they were dumb. It's just amazing what the media can do in a very short period of time. And for the person who's a low information voter, or a person who doesn't dial into this stuff, that just gets the snippets here, the snippets there, it's so easy to manipulate a young population of voters who don't really pay attention to any of this stuff. Yeah, Kamala may be hip, she may be young, she's got this other guy, you know, he does this and he does that. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, look at your life. Look at the decisions that have been made with this careless spending from people who are out of touch with reality of who you and I really are, okay? The only way we're gonna get a better representation is if the people of the community step up, get involved. And we know people in the community that are like that just want to do the right thing. There's so many things about this. Look, I'd be willing to pay somebody $1 million so they don't have to take lobby money. Just pay them fairly good to go do the job for the American people. Because once you take away all of the special interests, the lobby, the manipulations, then they don't have any other interests but you. It's like, this is not rocket science why our system is so corrupt. It's like anybody who looks deep at any situation, just like you would in your own business. If you look deep enough, you can see where the problems are. And the only way you're gonna ever get rid of the problem is to remove it from the system. But you see what happens when you try to manipulate the system. Look what has happened in just 3 years' time to just one man. Donald Trump. And the only reason I bring his name up is because he said that he was going to go back and finish what he started, which was breaking down the deep state. Now, whether you believe that or not, that's entirely up to you. But the point being is, then all of a sudden they started going even more ridiculous at him and more ridiculous at him. And then it's just one person they don't want in there. Why? What is it that this person knows or has done? Look, I don't care anymore because I'm at 46 years of age. This world has taken just about everything I cared about away. And the fact that I'm recording videos in the, not the hopes, but the know that the answer is within you, is just mind-boggling, because I have absolutely no reason to be doing this considering the way that the world has shit on me, especially in the last 2-3 years. It's just unreal. But bottom line, the fight lives within you. And if you can see that, if you can look, like I was saying before, it's not by accident this has happened, okay? You have to pay attention now. Your life is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And again, it can get inherently worse than this. You just don't see it yet. But look at the people around you. Look at the communities. Look at the people that most of the time you engage with in the areas that you live. Could that area live better is the first question you ask yourself. Could we be doing something in this community to make the lives of the people within this community flourish, blossom, bloom, thrive? Yeah, we could. Well, what are we spending all of our money on? Then we got to find out how we're spending the money that this community brings in every single year. What are we giving it to? Who is getting it? Where's it going? Why is it going there? It's the more transparency, the more you lay stuff out, and the more you know, which means you have to get involved. You have to be around the table to see what those people are doing. Those people up there have sold you, hey, it's we're doing the business of America and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, the business of America, your job and your life and your world right now sucks, okay? And they keep telling you about how hard the decisions that they're having to make. It's not that damn difficult. It's not that damn difficult. They are lying to you. The reason why everything is shit is because they are stealing it all. Wake up, America. The fight is not between you and me. Stop this. It's between us, the ones that are getting fucked over, and them, okay? We have to get rid of that nonsense. Kamala Harris and this, it's all the same. It's pulling you in a direction of what? More inclusion, more ridiculousness, more... What are we doing? If you're better than me, then you should be getting the job. If you are more qualified, then you should be getting the job. And that goes for anybody. No color, no sex, none of that shit matters to 99% of the people in the real world. They have sold us a bill of bullshit. It's not between you and me. We're not fighting each other. We're the ones fighting to stay afloat because of what they have done to us. We gotta wake up, people. Young people, I'm telling you, if you continue voting the way that you've been, traditionally, because you've been listening to the groups that you think know what they're talking about when they really just don't. Take it from a person who used to be there in those groups, thinking I knew everything. Just take a step back. Start asking yourself what you really know and start finding out the answers yourself. Start going to the places where they say all this bad stuff is happening and see really what's going on. See it for yourself. And you're going to start to discover that most of what the mainstream, the 93% of everything you read, watch, and listen to, is trying to sell you. It's all intelligence bullshit. It's all psyop bullshit games. You're smarter than this. Don't let people play you. Come on. We are better than this. We've always been... Look, America is... Met some of the greatest people in my life here, okay? There's that spirit America has that all the countries in the world look to. And we're fucking it up on purpose with whatever this monstrosity of a government is. The government is the people, you and me. They have stole what is yours and mine. The way we end this, stop fighting each other and start recognizing where the fight really is. Come on, America. We're better than this. The young people, you are the future. Don't fall into the traps that I did. Look, I'm like probably your dad's age, okay? So your dad, if is touting the same nonsense that you were touting in the colleges, it's because he was pulled into the other groups. I saw it many, many years ago. I tried to make a run in the political game, and guess what? I started to realize what I had to become in order to get into that. I'm like, no. There are things more important in this world than money, okay? Money's very important, but it's very hard to make money when you have everybody stealing it out the back end. These people have been stealing it out the back end. Democrats, Republicans alike. That's why I said forget the parties. Screw that. It's not about party. You and I can't be put into any particular box. That's where they tricked us. Once they started throwing labels on everything, that's when they tricked us. It's the label game. Because once you're in a group, you can't be part of another group. You know, you can't have this fluidity of ideas constantly talking because that group doesn't talk to that group. Do you see how the game is played? You need to start waking up. You need to start talking to people who really know what's going on. All right? The future is you guys. You young folks, the future is you. And to all the other ones out there right now trying to get this message out, trying to show people where the error of our ways are. It's a trick. It's a trick to pin you and me against each other. Don't fall for the trick. Do not fall for this. Come on. We got this. We know the direction this country has to go. Okay? We know it. You have so many people who are trying to keep, look, whether you agree with them or not, are trying to keep the air of ideas open to everyone. That we're not censoring anything. That all of the ideas get thrown on the table and the good ideas rise and the bad ideas fall. That's the way it used to be. But with the censorship game, you don't even see some of the great ideas. And then you're automatically told what those ideas are and how you should feel about them by a mainstream media who tells you what to think and how to think every single day, 24/7. 93%? I can see why we're all so confused. I can see it. But once you recognize there's a spell being cast against you, you go, oh yeah, clown show bullshit. Got it. Okay, got it. There's some more stuff happening behind the curtain that you don't realize is happening, but it's going to require you to wake up, you to start to pay it. But it has to be everybody. This is an all or nothing thing. It's not like, 10%, 5% where everybody's waking up. You hear these people all online going, we have a mass wake up. No, it's not, because you still have so many people, and I still talk to people every single day that are in this weird world. I don't know how to snap people out of that spell. I mean, really, it's unreal. But it's going to take everything you and I have. I don't see where the division is. I really don't. It's a game of labels. It's a verbal jujitsu game. And you're smarter than that. Come on. We're on the same team, America. And we need to show that this November. Push it into another direction and then start finding real, true candidates that actually represent the voice of the people. The people. And the only way they're going to know what the voice of the people is by you getting involved and paying attention and start talking about it freely, openly. Stop being afraid to talk about what you really believe. You believe, not what people told you to think, what you really believe. Your experiences have told you what's really going on in your head. That's the most authentic. What's really going on? Okay? Because once you start putting those things out there, then people will start to realize, yeah, this is going on, and you start to see the pattern at play. But that's also where the greatest stuff comes from. See, history is a lie that men agreed upon, okay? And what's going on right now, what you see going on right now, is a lie that they have introduced. And they're telling you, you must believe this lie, you must believe this lie. And many people continue to keep repeating it because the longer they repeat it, they have to believe it, because then it becomes structural in their foundation, and they become nothing if this lie falls apart. But it's going to fall apart anyway. And when it does, you're going to hit the ground so hard, and you're going to go, why didn't I just let go? Just let go. Recognize where the power lies, and recognize where the fight is. It's not you, it's not me. It's in all of us. And when we unite, fucking get out of the way, that's when revolution happens. Does not have to be violent. This just has to be where we start to have conversations again and stop being afraid to be wrong. Stop being afraid to hold on to things that we really don't know are true or not. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to, it's about getting it right, okay? How much better would your life be if you could just get things right all the time, right? But yet we fight it. Stop fighting. That's not where the fight is. Your life will get better once we start having the representation that is better. Once we start having a system, or maybe get rid of the system and start over. I don't know anymore, but the point being is that you don't have the representation that is going to make your life better, because they're stealing all of it out the back end. They're all influenced by money, by lobby, special interests. You often wonder how these people claim to be one thing, and then their decisions that they make don't back up the claims that they made previously. It's because it's a constant tug of war happening behind the scenes. These people don't work for you. They work for other people. People that put them into office. You think that they were the best thing since sliced bread. Oh yeah, that one guy down there, yeah, we see his face, we see his commercials. Yeah, they propped him up, or her up. And you fell for the trick. Not in every case, but in many of them, especially when there's a lot of money involved. It's like, why are we pushing so hard for this person? Why? Because that person has made a lot of promises to people when they get into office. See how the game's played? Smarter than this. You get the shit out. You get the cesspool out. You get the rot. Pull the pus out and get it out. And we can start to heal. Until that time happens, clown show will happen again tomorrow. And tomorrow. I could stop watching the news for months and it would be the same thing. It only changes when you change. I know it's such a cliche thing to say, right? World changes when you change. It's the truth. It's the truth. I above all know that. Good talk. I'll see you guys out there. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll talk with you soon. Take care.